what is an effective icebreaker question when you're at a conference? Sure, you could go up to somebody and say, "Oh, how are you? What do you do?" Or you could go up and show up a little bit more creatively or create an opening in a question to kind of set the stage for an interesting conversation. I'd love to hear what you think would be an interesting or fun icebreaker. Marnie, your go.
Simple. Just smile. Like, honest to goodness, you'd be shocked at the people that just
body language is what I'm hearing, right?
How about we start with that? I have many other thoughts, but I'll leave it at smile.
I like that. Body language is a big thing, right? Like there's certain people that have resting, not nice face. I'm one of them. I've been told many times I look intimidating if you don't know me. So like I make it a conscious effort to like smile more often, make my body positioning more available to conversations, right? People are looking around, they're tentative, they're cautious, they don't know, if you want to be bothered or if you want to have a conversation, but everybody's there to meet up and learn and hear from each other. They want to hear your stories and tell theirs. So I'll walk up to somebody and just say, like, if I see them kind of aimlessly, I'll ask them, like, what's your story? Like, tell me what got you here. You get to from starting in IT to this spot right here today? What's the story to get you here? And people light up. They love to talk about themselves. It works really well.
I like to default to sports. Find out where they're from. Bring up the local sports team. Usually that starts off a conversation pretty strong.
And you can break up the fight, so that's good.
So if I share my question here, everybody's going to hear it before they actually get to. But one of the things that I always like to do and try to find an interesting way to get people to talk about themselves and their, who they are as a person is I always ask the question, like, if you could have lunch or dinner or a meal with anybody in history over, all of history, who would it be and why?
Love it.
Right. Because you can start to dig into like it seems to be a pretty decent icebreaker, but now I have to come up with a new one. So thanks a lot.
Is a hot dog a sandwich, Kyle Christensen?
Marnie, I don't see people know mine. Next.
Oh, were you going to say that one? I know you told me that one, but I didn't realize you were going to share it.
I think I asked Marnie that at IT Nation last year when I met her. I think that was actually it. The other one that I've changed it up a little bit is a taco, a hot dog.
I mean, that's a pretty catching people off guard kind of question. They're like, wait, what?
Is cereal with soup?
Yeah. Is cereal with soup? That's your other one, yeah.
The other one that I do, in all honesty, is, and I think Ray, you hit the point, is too often in conversation we're always trying to take. We're always trying to, there's an end goal, and conversation isn't that. Conversation, people like to engage in back and forth. People like to be learned about, right? There's a lot of research when you put the human mind in an fMRI machine and you ask it inquisitive questions, you can actually see how the brain lights up. And there's two things that make the brain light up the most. The first is when you're asking questions about someone's past history experience, right? Their brain starts to get really illustrative. The thing that makes their brain light up the most is their name. So, knowing those two things and how we receive and how we interact with other humans in conversation, right? You have to always keep that in mind of, we need to learn as much about you as they learn about yourself. And one of the things that I've always asked in the last 20 odd years of interviewing people is, what's your nerd? What's your geek? Right? Mm-hmm. Sports don't always land because there is that level where I just may not like sports, right? I'm a sports guy, but I know my target market, my community may not be sports people, but everyone has something they're passionate about. Marnie, you're a math geek, right? And I mean it in the most endearing way, right? I worked for Geek Squad for 10 years. So I've worn this badge. I have a Geek Squad badge. So, right, there is that level to, right, there's car geeks, there's athletic geeks, there's people that are into, I had one employee at Sierra Pacific Group, she's a knitting geek. She makes these amazing, see, right, Marnie, there's those amazing qualities and people will be so excited to tell you about that. And then you can transition that into, hey, what are you doing with your MSP? What are you doing with your software, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
No, I agree. I think that's really important. just, because we have sets of questions, but it always starts with reading body language, reading communication style, because if someone's walking up and they're kind of timid, I'm not gonna be like, yo, what's up? That might freak them out. But also we have our marketing team is pretty bold, right? Like, for example, this shirt, it says your network is my network. That off the bat usually makes people go, okay, I don't know if I should feel safe around this person. But that's one of my favorite questions to ask MSP owners specifically, because it is an IT. Usually I'm just like, hey, what does your security stack look like? Tell me about how you're properly protecting your clients, right? And for business owners, for tech people, they kind of love that question, just because it's a crazy space. Everyone wants to make sure everything is safe. But again, it goes back to reading the room and kind of reading the body language. Yeah.